Coming. Hi, this is Riyan. Hi, hello everybody. Yes, I did promise you guys that I'll be going on live today. Yes. Hi, Hannah. Her name is Lina. Hey, hi, how are you? Her name is Lina. Thank you very much for coming. So I'm on two platforms today. I'm one on Facebook Live, and the other one I'm also on IGTV. Hello everybody. Thank you very much for coming. So today is a continuation of what I've already shared yesterday. Okay, it's on Muslim divorce part 2. Yeah, just in case if any of you also would have any inquiries pertaining to all this, you can just give me a call at 94512090. I'm gonna key it now. Okay, 94512090. Hang on, yeah. Yes, how's your day, everybody? Okay, I have been receiving quite a number of calls actually. In fact, from yesterday's live, quite a number of people were asking me about a continuation to immediately to complete talk about these divorce cases. So, right. With that, so today, hi Sarah Abdullah, thank you very much for like and share. Hi Justice Bauli. Hey, pagi not pagi yet. This is only in the evening. Okay, right. So, hi Nora Saleh, thank you very much for coming. Hi Fadil, thank you very much for coming. Hi, hello Nora Saleh, thank you. Right, so today I'm going to mention about the second part of divorce, about Muslim divorce. Yesterday I already mentioned about one, so if you'd like to take a look at it, you can just either look into my Facebook, FB Riyan Property, or you can also go into my YouTube channel, or you can also go into my IGTV. Alright, so Muslim divorce part 2. So after the marriage counselling, yesterday we mentioned about marriage counselling. So after the marriage counselling fails and no reconciliation, what's next? So what's next are the things that we need to do. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you about 5 things which no one actually tell you. So I'm just going to share with you because of my own personal experience of being divorced and married for 3 times, right? And also all my clients all experiences. So it's I can consider it's quite current as well. Not my divorce has been quite some time. Yeah, quite current because I do gather all this information and just share it with you guys. This is the attitude of being kepo lah. Kepo agent, that's me. Alright, guys. So, since if you're counselling after the marriage counselling, which is compulsory, it doesn't work at all, alright, which I mentioned to you, plaintiff, whatever it is, whether the defendant will turn up or not turn up, you will have to be there. Because if plaintiff, you do not turn up, so what's going to happen is that you will be, if the plaintiff do not turn up, definitely the case will be closed, yeah? Okay, so, number 1 will be the registration application at the Syariah Court. Okay, this is very important. I've been receiving a number of calls lately, saying that one thing is that there have been a lot of glitches when they were to register. They are very particular. Register Syariah Court are pretty particular about you filling up the right form, about you filling it up correctly, about it being current, okay, and also on time, right? So the registration has to be, number 1, it must be complete. Cannot have pass. For example, if they were to say, okay, this is the registration that they have, you only provide the HDB application form, but you missed out on the CPF. So that will be rejected. Okay, and also it must be very current. For example, you are going to register the divorce probably in January, so therefore all these documents must be in January. It cannot be in November, it cannot be in December. Okay, it will also all be rejected. That's it. So all your efforts are going down to Syariah Court, all will be just a futile effort lah. Buang masa saja kan. Okay, and see the most important thing, which majority because I understand lah, all of you are going through the divorce and all that, negativity comes in, and then after that you come in and then you say, actually you wanted to file out, and then salah already have to come back, then you just boring later you procrastinate, then you delay it after the 6 months from the date of the counselling. I tell you, they will say, sorry, case closed, right? Please, you have to re-register for counselling again. Wow, you see, such a waste of time. So I know that all of you, for those of you out there who are going through the divorce, or you know of people who are going through the divorce, you have to embrace yourself together. Die if you want it. If you think it's better for you and for the children, then go ahead with it. Do not procrastinate. Do not allow all that negativity to come in. Okay, right? Hi Shakiz Dino, thank you very much for coming. Right, okay. So these are all pretty important. Hi Marwan, thank you very much for coming. Okay. Yes. So it must complete within 6 months. If not, everything, all your futile effort already. Okay. And with this, so after going through all that, okay, after filling up all the forms and all that, in case if there is a family, there is at least one child that is below 21 years old, at least one child that is below 21 years old, which we usually call it as a minor, both parties will have to attend the parenting programming. Okay. In a divorce, yes, you have your own ideas, mommy has her own ideas, daddy has their own ideas, but the thing what the court is looking for is about the development of the child. This is what the court always looks for, because you know, if the family collapse, okay, but the child usually must not collapse. The child must always be able to live life as normal as possible, because once a divorce were to take place, this also happens to my children, right? This happens to my children as well. Okay, but we as parents, we fail to see, or for me myself, it's not that I fail to see it. I'm actually in denial. I just do not want to see it. That's the thing. This is what I realize. Okay, so I do some reflection. Lucky I reflect. Okay, right. So these are the things which the court really look for. The thing is, they want to ensure that the children will have a better life. Whatever it is happens to the parents, the children's life must not be affected so much. Okay, so that is why they're looking at this. So therefore, both husband and spouse must go for the parenting program. Okay, right. If there is a mutual agreement, then it's okay. So the parents just have to sign the agreed parenting plan form. So that means some parents, I have seen quite a number of couples where in fact when they have agreed on the children, okay, this is what you do, this is what you do, we are being mutual. Okay, even though we are divorced, things do not happen our way, but what we can do is that we just be agreeable with all these things that we want to do for the sake of the children. Some parents are like that, but however, quite a number of them also are not. Yeah, so if they are not, when meaning that one party says, no, I want to take care of him. No, I want to have the care and control. I want to have the just guy say, no, I'm the better person. Wow, like that, right? So with that, if there are disagreements on parenting, so they have to complete the proposed parenting plan form. Okay, so these are all the important things that we need to know, especially when it comes to children. Anything that has to do with children below 21 years old, so these are the ones that we have to come up with, right? So number one, so there are two things that usually when it comes to what we are claiming for, this I mentioned just now, which is number one, children, and number two will be the matrimonial asset. Alright, so the second thing which I want to mention to you, right? Just now I already mentioned to you about the children thingy, right? Sometimes we know, sometimes we don't know lah. But I'm just sharing with you the 5 things that usually people don't tell you. So the second thing is that children, right? When it comes to children, so what's the difference? There is a care and control and also a joint custody. So how does it affect you as a parent? Alright, okay, so these are the things that we have to do. Hey, hi Peter Lu 10. Thank you very much for coming. Right, okay. So what's the difference between care and control and joint custody, and how does it affect you? Right? Okay. How does it affect you in many ways? Number 1, as in terms of rental. Number 2, as in terms of purchase. And number 3, as in terms of loan. So how does it affect you? Right? Right, so these are the ways. Okay, if you have the joint custody, meaning that, okay, this is what usually I receive calls from many others, right? What they do is that when they mention, they call me, they say that, hey, they have this joint custody, they have joint custody. When I ask, do you have care and control? No, don't worry, I have joint custody, I can buy a house, no problem. Oh, okay, so that is what they usually mention. So obviously they do not know the difference. Hey, hi Siti Aisyah, yo. Thank you very much for coming. Hola, babe, hola. Hey, hi, George Teo. Hola. Thank you very much for coming. Right. So this is what usually happen when people were to say, oh, usually when they have joint custody and care and control, they say joint custody is enough. No, not true. So there is a difference actually between the care and control and joint custody. What are the differences? Okay. If you have the care and control, right, and if you are not able to afford, you do not have the means to buy a house, so those people who have the care control of the minor, which is children below 21 years old, will be given the right to rent. Right. So if you only say, if it's in the court order stated that you have, the defendant has the joint custody, both party has a joint custody, care and control of the 3 children goes to the Plaintiff, then that means defendant. If you would like to rent a house because you have no means to buy, so you can't rent a house. Okay, rent a house from HDB, I'm referring to that lah. Okay, those are the very, very basic ones lah. Okay, so remember this. So that means if you have only the joint and custody, no care and control, so you can't. So all these require lots of planning. Okay, so when I'm actually sharing with you all this as well, so all of you will also know that what are the things that that is very important to be amicable, right? So I have cases in where they have 3 children. Okay, 3 children, okay lah, quite good lah, quite lucky lah, I can say. So 2 children goes to the care and control of the plaintiff, and 1 child goes to the care and control of the defendant. Why? Because they already planned that. So because both of them are below 35 years old. So once if they were to sell the house, if both party have no means to sell or to buy, so both party in fact can get a house, a rental, because both has the care and control of the child. One has, the defendant has 1 care and control of 1, the plaintiff has care and control of 2, right, of 2 children. So that is good, right? As in terms of purchase, if you have the care and control as well, so if you have never fully utilized to purchase direct from HDB, so that means you're still entitled to buy a house direct from HDB, right? Okay, so and for those of you who are below 35 years old, and if you have the care and control of the children, right, of at least 1 child which is below 21 years old, then you are also able to purchase a house, a HDB house in the open market. So no issue with that. So please plan. So this is what I always mention to most of those callers that in fact contacted me. I mentioned to them, please plan. No point for you to quarrel, to fight, over all these things. Yes, everybody makes mistakes, but please plan. This is meant for your future, right? And also for the loan. Okay, this loan also is quite challenging. Okay, if you have the care and control of the children will also be seen as your tanggungan, which is your responsibility, which is also can be seen as liability lah. Okay, so that means the more children are under your care and control, right, very high chance, for example, you are working, 1 person is working, then the other 3 are all children below 21 years old, still cannot work, not working yet. So therefore you are seen like you menanggung the other 3, that you are in fact with your income will have to be divided by all the three other person. So what does that mean? Your loan will be decreased. Yeah, so this is how it works. So you will have to know lah. So it will be best lah. I suggest if you have 6 children or more than 3 children, you can actually share it out. So this will be an advantage for you for the sake of the loan, if you can. Okay, right. But if you really can't, you think you'll be the very best person for you to be able to take care of the children, then okay, then by all means, yeah. So but you must know what are the consequences like. So if you have care and control of all the children. And also bear this in mind, the different custody. So it doesn't mean that you have the joint custody, that means you can buy a house with them. No, joint custody, it means just a temporary thing. Also, if you have the care and control, as in terms of children's education, yeah, so if you would like to have a care and control of your child, because I've seen this happening so many times where the person who has the actual care and control have 3 children, then give one care and control 1 to the defendant. Okay, because why? To help the other spouse to be able to rent a house. Once the person has already, the ex-spouse has already gotten to rent a house, what happens was that, he go missing in action. Yeah. The other spouse, the one who was actually under the care and control, the child stays with that actual person, and when it comes to signing of documents with the school will require the person who's under the care and control to attend. When meet the parent session, they also require the care and control person to attend, but this person will fail to turn up. So this is why sometimes giving away the care and control, thinking of what's benefit the other party is a good thing, but you also have to understand the other party, how's the other party's character. Will he or she be able to turn up in case for school matters? This is very important. I've seen this most of the time. The other party that give away the care and control get very stressed up. Okay, so care and control comes together with responsibility. So bear that in mind. Alright. So Matrimonial asset. This is the second thing. Just now I mentioned about the two things that we will be asking for. We should be battling over. Which one will be for the children, and the other one will be the matrimonial asset. So all the about children has already been covered. Okay, but if possible, don't quarrel so much lah. Don't fight so much lah. They are still your children. They very affected. No, really, seriously, my children all affected. I didn't know until they grow up. Then I know. Okay. Anyway. Now talk about the matrimonial asset. Okay, matrimonial asset meaning whatever properties that you have lah. Okay, but now the very basic ones, I will just mention about the HDB or the HDB property or even a private property. Okay, there are various ways that can be divided into, right? Usually the common thing that we hear is about selling, right? So once the house majority, they say that after the HDB approval, the house will be sold in the open market with the share for the defendant maybe about 40%, the share to the plaintiff is 60%, or vice versa. So these are the ways that it goes, either selling. Or there are also many other ways that can be done. The other ways will be like surrender. Okay, some will say, oh, okay, might as well we surrender this back to HDB. So whatever already appear in the court order, it will stay like that. So example, if both parties agree for the house to be surrendered, so that means the house will have to be surrendered as well. You cannot just after gone out of the court, then you just decided, we requested for it to be surrendered. We change our mind now, we want to sell. Call agent, ask the agent to sell. Cannot be done just like that. Okay, all the ruling will have to follow the court order. Okay, the court order says surrender, have to surrender. So if you change your mind, you say you don't want to surrender, you want it to be sold in the open market, then we have to vary the court order. Vary the court order meaning to fill up all the forms again, make the changes again. Okay, then you have to come up with the affidavit, got to get the commissioner of oath to sign, you got to sumpah and say yes, correct, both of us agree, then go again to the court. Okay, so it's very leceh. So all this require planning. You don't just do things or it's just on emotional basis just because you're angry lah. I don't want anybody to get the money from this house. Angry lah, I don't want the other party to have this house also, that's why we surrender. Okay, so these are all the things are emotional. So I understand, I was in that stage too. My anger also very like tsunami like that. But the thing is, you have to see for the sake for your children, also for your own sake. Sometimes when you get too angry also, you don't benefit. What's the point? Okay, so okay, that's one way, which is surrender. That is if both party were to agree. Hi Sarima Ima, thank you very much for coming. How are you, Sarima Ima? Long time no see. Okay, next, the house, the second choices that you can have is for the house to be transferred. Okay, transfer, for example, the spouse A, the plaintiff and the defendant. Okay, then the plaintiff say, I would like to buy over the house. So that means to be transferred. So I will buy over the house and pay all my ex-husband's CPF inclusive of interest. Then I will take over all that, and then that house will be mine because it got sentimental value. Okay, because this house I spent so much on it already, because this house is my house, this is like my first love. I spent so much, this house is like very soothing to me. Many reasons people sometimes want to have the house. Okay, before you want to ask for this house to be transferred, so number one, you have to ensure you know how much is the other party's CPF that has been used, inclusive of interest. Okay, that is very important, inclusive of interest. To be transferred meaning that you have to pay the other party all the CPF with the interest. Okay, example, if he has used his CPF 100,000 for that house and the interest is 30,000, so you have to pay 130,000 one shot, one lump sum. No installment. Okay, no installment, right? So you have to pay one lump sum to that party, not to him directly, but to pay to the CPF. So all that will go back into his CPF account. If you don't have sufficient, right, you really don't have the sufficient, then you don't have sufficient CPF, then that means this cannot take place. When this cannot take place, so what does that mean? That means this court order will have to be varied again. Varied means to change, to make all the necessary changes. And then the court will ask, why wasn't it being transferred? Why was this? Why was that? So all these things will take a lot of time. Okay, from the prices of house go up, they can go down, and all that. It will also affect you lah. Okay, so all these things try to avoid. So before you request for this and before request for that, number one, you have to ensure that you have sufficient CPF to pay him back or to pay her back, lump sum, not by installment. Okay, and also with your age and your income is able to sustain the loan balance of that house. Example, since both of you are still there, the loan of the house is still balance of about maybe 150,000. So you have to check with the bank, or maybe you have utilized 2 HDB loan. So you have to take the bank loan. So if whether you are able to get that loan amount with your age and with your income. If not, it's just a futile effort. Okay, so all this homework needs to be done. Okay, when it comes to transfer, just to ensure you cannot just wake up, oh, I'm sure the people can give me because I'll be bringing the children, oh, because I have the care and control of the children, the court will give me, oh, the government will give me loan for me to be able to do that. But you are not working, your loan income, your loan is low, your loan, you know, your income is pretty low, and then your age is pretty high. How are you able to get that loan? So we have to start to be very practical here. Do your homework. Do your homework, really intensive homework, before even you go through all this. Then you decide lah whether you want to proceed or not, right? Because sometimes even though you proceed, you think you can afford, but actually you can't afford it. So you will know what are the steps, measures to take. Yeah. Alright. So C is the one is part purchase. Now this is pretty seldom, okay, but I have seen cases as well. Part purchase meaning that the party this house will be sold in the open market, but then the one who will buy back is either one of the plaintiff or the defendant. Okay, so that means that the person that buy back, example the defendant, defendant say, oh, this house to be sold in the open market, we have so far a lot of offers that come in, probably about 400,000. So he says, I want to get this house to be part purchase. I want to part purchase this house. Okay, if the matches the valuation, so the so-called this house will be sold to you, okay, to the open market, and you, the spouse, is the one who's buying it over. So this is different from transfer. So buy over, so the ex-spouse will be getting her share plus the profit, and for yourself, you'll also be getting part of your share in the profit, and all the new loan will all be revised. All this can happen, number one, can take place if, number one, that means your income is pretty strong, okay, to take over the loan, okay, and also you're pretty young as well, not too old, too young to buy over that flat as well. And also number three, the eligibility lah, at least you're already above 35 years old, or you have the care and control of the child for you to be able to get that loan to buy that, to part and purchase for that house. Okay, so all these criteria do sell in. And the final one, which I mentioned right earlier on, is to sell. Okay, and also when from selling on the open market, right, it usually is mentioned that sell in the open market with the plaintiff share of how much, the defendant share of how much, after deducting all the expenses which arises in the sale of the house, like the conservancy charges, property tax, the agent fees, and the legal fees. Yeah, all this must minus off. Then the shares will be divided as a portion by the court, like for example 60% and 40%. Okay, so with that, then from that, then you will know. Okay, so the next part, what I'm going to say for is that when it comes to selling, yes, both parties will say, I want 60%, I want 80%. Yo, she's not using any of her money for this house. She cannot get any money at all, okay? Oh, no, I want him, it's his mistake. He's the one who has a third party. So therefore, he's the one that have to get less share, as less as possible. I want to see him not being able to buy another house. Wow, you fight here, fight there, fight here, fight there. But how do you know? Probably you are fighting for zero cash, right? So the basic calculation, you need to know if your property has cash value. All this, you must do the homework lah. You don't just keep on fighting and say, then finally turns out it's a negative sale. Many things happen. It's really so many times happen already. Why? Because lack of research, lack of homework, lack of calculation. So from there, then you wouldn't know how to move on. You see how to move on, because why are you fighting for something that you get 80%? Yes, car, I get 80%. Day, what 80% do you get? This house, when you sell, is a negative sale. You don't even have any cash. So zero cash. So what cash are you talking about? So then they get very upset and says, and this is on a bank loan. Your house is on a bank loan. So that means you have to come up with cash. You have to come up with certain monies, right, to pay for the house, right? So basic calculation would be this. I'm letting you know here. I think that one, there's no mirroring effect for the IG, right? So cash proceeds, you will know from here, equals to the selling price minus the outstanding loan, or the loan amount that you borrow from the bank, or from the bank, or from HDB. You have to be deducted first, then minus the CPF of the owner's use, Yeah, first owner and the second owner. If there's a third owner, then third owner lah. All these owners. Yeah, and all this CPF calculated must be also inclusive of the accrued interest. Okay, right? So all these things you must calculate. Do your homework, right, before even you think of getting a divorce, because sometimes emotional thing lah. If things can be solved, solve. If things cannot be solved, try to solve again, because the one that benefit will be no one. Then especially if for yourself, then you do not have a financial standing, you do not have the means. So do all your sums first and ensure that, like before you got a divorce and things like that, what the best is for you to have a job, because why? After you sell a house, you need a place to stay for yourself and for your children. So that's very important, right? So have a job, at least about 3 months of 3 months of CPF contribution. Then from there, then you can in fact proceed to buy another house. If worst come to worst, at least you can go on rental as well as a start. That was how I started as well. Okay, right? So from there, then we can just move on. Yeah, so all this requires a lot of planning. So it doesn't mean that you are just emotionally disturbed, emotional turmoil, then you feel like, oh, no, I just want to go for this divorce, for not so strong grounds, so you want to go for divorce. And then turns out after you get the divorce, you can't even move on because house is a negative sale, and that you don't have sufficient funds to move on, because you can't even get the loan to buy the next house. All these things try to avoid, by doing lots of research on this. Remember this is what I always mention to most of my clients. Always, once we got a divorce, get out of the divorce with your head held high. Okay, meaning that after you got a divorce, make sure that you have everything all planned out, a place to stay, and your life will be much more comfortable than when you were married. If you think that one you cannot achieve, so put it on hold, or don't even think about it. Learn to repair. Because why? This is one thing as well I want to share with you. The fifth thing, is that divorce is a battle that no one wins. Everybody loses in a divorce. There's no medal that you get. What you get is all losses. Your children will suffer, yourself also, everything will change. It's not easy. It's not really easy. Hi JMRWHD. Thank you very much for coming. I'm sorry, I don't know what's your full name, right? So this is about a divorce. Divorce is a battle that no one really win. No one win. Everybody lose one in a divorce, okay? So if you can repair, try to repair. Right? Okay. So that's all I have today for the section 2, because I do not want to take your time, much of your time from sleep, right? So what is next? What's next at Riyan Property FB Live at night? That will be, I will talk about the Muslim divorce part 3. Okay, it's just going to be cut all into small sections like this. It's about the selling of the property, the 3 things which others never tell you about, right? Okay, so Muslim divorce part 3 likely will be taking place tomorrow. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, right? So I'll see you guys. So in case if any of you knows anyone else who would benefit from this sharing, you can actually like and share. I'll send it to them, share it to them. You can go through my Facebook Riyan Property, right? Or also you can go into my YouTube Riyan TV. So good night for now. All the best, FBNs, and also the Instagraments, alright? To all the beautiful people for short. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again. Bye.